Hey all, thanks for joining. This was originally meant to be a playful rant about how everyone's mom can't possibly be FE. I know your mother is FE. Like, for real. Mine is too, actually. Not everybody's mother is FE. Once I thought this all the way through, this is going to be part playful rant, I think, yeah, but also part exploration and a love letter to my EFJs. Most of the actual EFJs I've met in the wild seem to be in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So why does everybody talk about EFJs being everybody's mother? And I think it's for the same reason that they talk about ETJs being CEOs. It's an archetype. And the mother archetype really neatly fits into what FE is doing. If feeling is presupposing that everyone has an optimal state of being for any given task or goal, so that state of being is the best way to get that task done. For example, if you need to take a test, you need to feel alert and focused. And then the job of the DE, or the extroverted decider, is to make sure that the group is calibrated for its responsibility. So FE is trying to get the room or the group calibrated to the optimum state of being, both individually and as a whole. So to calibrate, you need to know the current state and the desired state, and you need to know what would motivate that person to move from the current state to the desired state in the least painful or the most comfortable way possible. The initial observation is for the group, and then looking at each of the individuals and researching and referencing old known information, all about, making sure that everybody is lined up, is calibrated to get the job done. Words, actions, body language, statements, and questions. All of these things are happening to calibrate the room. This is a constant movement of gathering information, making adjustments, seeing how that made a difference, and then finessing, like rinse and repeat. And sometimes one person's needs need more attention than another. It's a constant balancing act. This is what the FE user is going to feel responsible for. Reading a person and doing the job correctly, and not just overextending yourself or crossing boundaries, both for the person and yourself. This must be practiced. So an FE user isn't necessarily even doing this well, right? But that moment when the FE user comes to you, right, and asks about how you're doing, or does something that brings you to that desired state, or what they perceive to be the desired state, or where you need to be so that the group can be in their desired state. In that moment, you may feel helped, you may feel seen, you may feel nurtured, you may feel controlled, you may feel vulnerable, you may feel infantilized, you may recognize this feeling. It's maternal, right? These are the feelings that a mother can give you. I get it. It fits the archetype of the mother, because this is what a mother does. But here's why it's annoying. First of all, just because your state of being is being shifted, for better or for worse, that does not mean that they were consciously doing it at all. It could have just been they were stuck in their own heads and doing their own thing, and they moved you. Maybe they did use it to get you into a desired state, but maybe they're doing it for another reason. Also, and here's a really important part, even if they are moving your state or caring for you or nurturing for you, they're not necessarily tracking the entire room. They're not necessarily doing it for everybody all the time. They could just be doing it for you. They could be doing it for your family. Could be doing it for their extended family. They could have a wide net of people that they care about, and that's who they're doing it for. All I'm saying is that if your state of being is being moved by another person, you could describe that moment as FE, but that does not mean that the person doing it has FE. That was just number one. Number two, why is it maternal, right? Why do we still have this symbolism that the mother is the nurturer, right? I get it, but it's annoying. Even stereotypically, the dad's outside fixing the car and the mom's inside making some freshly squeezed lemonade. Dad's going to get the thing done, and mom's going to make sure everybody's comfortable. This is so problematic on so many different levels. The idea that the female needs to be the caregiver is just such an outdated idea. And that's the crux of it, right? So much of my life already as a woman, I'm fighting against gender norms, even to this day. Although, yeah, it is a lot better than it used to be, in the US at least. That using a lot of buzzwords, right? I recognize that there are definitely places on this planet where gender equality is still not actually a thing. Still, even in the US, right? And I'll link this below, but according to a 2020 US Bureau of Labor Statistics poll, women make up about 28% of the workforce in STEM. As a lead FE woman, here I am. Society and the feeling of responsibility to my lead function. Everything is telling me that I just need to go pour some sugar on these lemons. And don't get me wrong, I definitely have a mama bear streak. And I also happen to really enjoy being a mother. But again, you don't have to be lead FE to be a mother. It's not just insulting to the lead FEs, it's insulting to anybody who's not a lead FE. Can we please just stop associating gender with expectations? Let's understand the difference between an archetype and a stereotype. Use the archetype as a symbol or a prototype that can be used as a baseline to see it in different lights and angles and perspectives. But don't use a stereotype that oversimplifies and reduces a human down to a caricature. I mean, it's gonna happen. We do that. It's just humor. But don't do it for real. Speaking of for real, here's my love letter to my EFJs. This freaking out about not having permission to not be the stereotype, or how even the shame in displaying stereotypical behavior. This is just self-condescension, and it's precisely what we don't need. Like, stop. Stereotyping does happen, and yeah, we don't think the world's problems can be solved with a plate of cookies. But sometimes we do use cookies. And yeah, misogyny exists. And it's not good for anybody. And yeah, I'm sorry, but the patriarchy is a really deep-rooted system that puts us in automatic patterns, where we get this idea that certain things are just naturally true. Or that they're even biological. We really need to make it normal for people to be able to be both vulnerable and capable. But the freaking out, that's on us. I, for one, am thinking about all the non-FE moms, sweet teachers, and careful nurses that this insults. That it perpetuates this idea that thinkers are cold-hearted. Not only do I feel like it hurts us, in that it reduces us to just being able to use our hearts, but it also creates this space that if you're using your mind, you're not allowed to use your heart. I'm just repeating myself. And it pains me in the same way that in my particular STEM field, most of the people that I come across are men. That I'm seeing everywhere, that I'm not allowed to or expected to be capable of anything but warm hugs and cookies. Society is a little bit broken here. So are we. Fixing society is going to take some time. Luckily, we have the hearts to see it and the minds to solve it. But from now on, I'm just going to chuckle when someone mentions that their mom is lead FE, because in that particular moment, I'm putting more weight on it than it's worth. Talk to you next time. I'm going to have to end up talking about patriarchy. Okay. This video is about to have a crap ton of buzzwords. And that's the crux of it, right? And that's the crux of it, right?